Всем привет, продолжаем. Добрался до игрушки. Там в пределе что-то мы делали. Ой. Застряли в черном пределе. Вроде мы по сюжету. Вроде да. Вообще. Ой, сундук. Знаете, тащил.
here. Let's find this assassin.
Careful. I sense the presence of other vampires. Arrow fiends. Not the result of the ritual we stopped. So they must have brought them from someplace else.
trace?
Vampire away. The leech magic.
Is it long enough? Sister Sada shall divide extra.
I always do these unsuspecting ways.
That's for Queen Gurren, you bastard.
Now we need to find Sister Thana. You listen in. I'll unlock the door.
Rise, exarch, and be reborn.
Singalis, where is this place?
The Ashen Lord commands it, and so we live once more, Orfra.
Alive again? How?
You have the Ice Reach Coven to thank for that, werewolf.
Using my recipes, witch.
I meant no disrespect to Exarch Singalis.
We're being watched, brother.
Next time, Thada the Ashen Lord will expect more than the restoration of a single reliquary. Now deal with the intruders, or I'll toss you to the Harrow Fiends.
Come out, little skeevers. Come out and play with Sister Tharda.
How many of your sisters am I gonna have to kill before you give up? after the other two. Damn, we lost them.
You saw it too, right? That werewolf shed that statue like a snake sheds its skin. Was she inside that stone husk the whole time, waiting to be awakened? Or did the ritual somehow summon her into that vessel? There's a lot I still don't understand. A ritual, obviously. Remember the altar at Kilcreath? We found the urn, the reliquary, and shards from a large stone vessel. I think they were the remains of one of those stone husks. I'm not sure how, but it all ties back to the Harrowstorms. I thought the purpose of the Harrowstorms were to create Harrow Fiends, but now I think that's only a byproduct. The storm somehow gathered energy that the witch used to summon Ulfra, the werewolf. Ulfra seems to think she was brought back to life. I've come to the conclusion that anything is possible where magic is concerned. I'm going to look around with Lyris, then return to Old Mjolnir to finish studying the witchpike residue. Maybe that will help me understand how the ritual works. Theoretically, using my knowledge of alchemy and Old Mjolin's understanding of leech magic, we should be able to figure something out once we know what components were used in the ritual. I don't know of any Ashen Lord, but Exarch. I came across the term after the incident at the mass grave in Banquerai. It's a rank used by the ancient army. Its members were buried in that unhallowed grave, and their remains were smuggled here. The Grey Host. It was an army of vampires and werewolves that rampaged across Hammerfell during the First Era. There aren't a lot of records remaining, and even the burial site was a closely held secret. Exarch was a rank, like General, I suppose. I don't know. But that's the impression I got from the witch's conversation with the Exarchs. I wish I knew more about this Zengalis and Ulfra, though. And the Ashen Lord, for that matter. That's why I want to check the ritual site.
Damn it! The vampire and the werewolf are long gone. They called themselves Singalis and Ulfra, and they had an unusual rank or title, Exarch. I wonder what that means. Yeah, I heard. No idea who or what that is, though. Maybe Fen can make sense of what we saw down here. In the meantime, I'm gonna head back inside. I want to get a better look at those stone husks that were left behind. While Fen and I examine that ritual site more closely, you should return to Solitude and inform Svanna that her mother's assassin has been taken care of. She'd want to know. More than that, she deserves to know. I left Svanna back at the Lonely Troll under the care of that drunken orc Mog. Unless he ignored my rather stern warnings, he should be keeping the princess there. I'll meet you back in the city once we finish here. Anything that tells us more about what the Coven and its allies are trying to accomplish. Maybe something about this Ashen Lord. I'd even settle for a clue that points us to any other strongholds they have down here. We need something more to go on. Because I don't trust the security at the palace. Vampire or not, the assassin had too easy a time getting close to the Queen. Besides, Svanna feels comfortable at the tavern. I figured she needed some comfort after watching her mother die.
Finally. Waiting in a tavern without a drink is maddening. How do other people do it? And Mog hasn't been helpful. His solution to every problem involves a great amount of alcohol. I would have preferred to see him dragged back here for a proper trial and execution. But at least justice has been served. Were you able to damn those Reach witches? And damn my father for being so obstinate! But what does the Coven want? Are they planning to kill my father? What else can you tell me about this threat to our kingdom? That's horrible. But there must be more to this than simply turning my people into monsters. Well, I'll do what I can to help you. Mother would have wanted me to. What you've done and discovered will be enough to convince my father. It has to be. some of the blame for all this. That's horrible. You and Lyris risked your lives for my kingdom and have been met with nothing but suspicion. You counted on my mother to be your advocate, to convince my father of the Coven's threat. Now she's gone. I'm no substitute, but I'll speak for you. My father hasn't heard a word I've said since I was old enough to talk. But with Mother gone, someone has to make him see reason. You know, she tried to teach me, but I never listened. I guess maybe I'm more like my father than I care to admit. That makes it even more imperative that he heeds your warning and takes action. All of the holds are in danger. Hoffingar, Hjalmarch, Karthald. My father needs to do something before another storm strikes. Meet me at the Blue Palace, all right? I just need a moment to think about how to approach this. Consider the words to use. My courtly manners are a bit rusty, and I've never been much for diplomacy and fancy speeches. Shore's bones, I could use a drink. I'm not sure of anything. If I don't do this, though, I'll never forgive myself if something terrible befalls the kingdom. Right. Easy as honey-baked pie. It's not like you came here at the behest of his most hated rival or anything. Look, I'll do my best to get him to listen. You have my word on that. It feels like I've been shattered into 1,000 pieces and swept under a rug. But I don't have time to mourn right now. Not with the kingdom in danger. Now, let's go talk to my father before I change my mind. I'm not sure of anything. If I don't do this, though, I'll never... That's nice of you to say, but I'm not sure I believe that. I hope she's watching all this.
I eat well and stay fit, but I will have any...
Wish me luck, Mog.
Get luck. I suggest a slug of Kindle Pitch whiskey. You'll need it to stand up to your father.
Решил проверить, что у меня на другом персонаже. Ради интереса посмотреть.
Don't merely be a visitor to Somerset. Help uphold its justice.
А, ну, то же самое. Да ничего не меняется. Так же. Понимаю, вызов той собачки и той лошадки, или тоже собака лошадь, я не знаю. Это надо вампиром, наверное, стать, или кем-то таким. Ой, а зачем мне создавать? Не знаю. Хранители, интересно. Кто такие хранители? Тонец. Раса, класс. А, вот хранители. Классы выбирать было. Некромант. Может быть вообще некромант. А кого я выбрал в таком случае? Блин. Я выбирал имперец. Имперец. Рыцарь дракон, наверное. Надо было брать хранителя. Блин. Не того персонажа сделал. А здесь лицо ему сделать. Это я как-то плохо выбирал персонажа себе. У меня, по-моему, темный рыцарь. Рыцарь дракон. Как бы это посмотреть? Так, не-не-не. Раз. Ладно. Я там... Как посмотреть свой класс? Я взял. штанах, что ли? Что такое? Ай, это страшно.
Have a passion
Sailing
for
giants.
alchemy. Be a part
never
of my
imagined.
exciting research.
Assassins tried to kill the High King. They murdered Queen Gerhild.
Our poor king must be devastated.
You would have me spread my forces across the realm to search for nightmares you dredged up from a bottle?
It's not!
Or should I say, the whispers of eastern vipers tickling your ears?
But Mother!
Enough! Then next you come before me to vomit up your counsel. Make sure it doesn't stink of treason.
Damn the man. He wouldn't let me get a word in edgewise. Mother always knew how to talk to him. Me, not so much. Mother had a way with Father, but she could be just as stubborn. If she wanted something done and he wouldn't oblige, she'd do it herself. Time to take her lessons to heart, I guess. If my father won't take a stand, then I suppose it's up to me. Our kingdom consists of 3 holds. Halfingar, Hjalmarch, and Karthalt. I need to warn them. The Jarls might listen, even if my father won't. I'm the daughter of the High King, after all. Time to start acting like one. Will you come with me? We should visit Jarl Redharn of Hjalmarch first. If we can convince him of the threat, at least his hold can take steps to protect itself. We'll find him in his hall in Morthal. I'll leave word for Lyris with Mog, so she'll know where to find us. Honestly, I don't know. But Jarl Redharn tempers his warrior nature with a kindness not often seen in people of his stature. Besides, he's always had a soft spot for me, ever since his daughter and I played together at moots and other gatherings. I remember a time when we were all happy together. Him and Mother and I. Seems like a long time ago. At some point, he became more and more involved with the trappings of power. He was more interested in being the High King than my father. I tried, but interaction with my father made it difficult. She wanted us to be a family. But the High King wanted a queen and a princess. Eventually, he stopped ordering me to attend royal functions. It was my one victory in our relationship.
Чем я Эльдмирский доминион взял? Фиг его знает. Ой, блин, как я тут набрал. Тут, блин, не знаю. Ладно. Тоже возьму. Полосатый. Короче, я создал персонажа, но я что-то не вдупил. При создании, что я там насоздавал. Выбрал этот, как его, только так, у имперца, вот, и все. А все остальное даже и не посмотрел. Это как-то я.
What?
Скакать. Это из города. А, вот сюда надо. Вот. Самый ближе. Педоморфова скакать.
Stupid thing. I should have never come. Oh, hello. Please don't laugh. I'm having a terrible time, and this cart isn't even a half of it. Though you look rather experienced. Maybe it's fortuitous that you came along. You might be just the right person to help me. You've heard about dragon mounds, right? They're ancient dragon burial sites. Centuries old. The Dragon War, the Dragon Cult. I'm over-explaining. The job is simple. I just need some charcoal rubbings from those mounds. I intended to. I hired this cart and everything. But as you can see, that didn't work out. Maybe I was foolish to try and do this on my own. I don't have a lot of field experience. Almost none. But you could handle this, right? I'll pay you. Thank you for helping. It's a big relief. I need rubbings from 2 dragon mounds. One south of here, and another off to the east. I'm particularly interested in any symbols that look like dragons, but anything you find will help. Oh, you should read Historia Draconis. The writer was an eyewitness. Very briefly, in ancient times, dragon priests and the dragons ruled over the Nords. More like slaves, really. Unless you join the dragon cult. Right. The Nords revolted. A few dragons even fought against their own kind. The texts say thousands on thousands of Nords died, but I think that's exaggerated. Eventually, they defeated the dragon priests and their dragons. We're still sorting that out. The Historia claims the Nords killed them all, but it's biased. Some scholars think the cultists sacrificed themselves to become Draugr. That way they could protect the dragons and priests buried in the mounds. Oh, that's easy. Most of the burial sites are still buried and therefore inaccessible. These 2 happen to be at the surface and may have the rubbings I need. If my research is correct, of course. There's more, but let's start with this, at least. I really don't know. I've never really done research in the field before. I plan to go in armed to the teeth just in case. A lot of good that did me. I bought all this adventuring gear and have nothing to show for it. You're back! I'm so glad to see you. I hope it wasn't too dangerous. I feel like I should have gone with you, but I probably would have slowed you down. Oh, the rubbings! Did you get them? How exciting! I can't believe I get to examine these myself. Fieldwork is wonderful. Now, I just have to hope they confirm my theory. Well, the glyphs here are definitely Merethic era, with Nord inclusions that have... Sorry, I'll skip all that. These symbols resemble those on dragon cult tablets. I think they're charms that speed up the release of the dragons from their mounds. Well, something like that. It happened in Elsewhere, didn't it? Now that I have these, there's one final mound to investigate. I have to physically go there this time. Would you still be willing to help me? I'm not sure I can do this alone. There's a dragon mound farther down the road, a big one. When I first entertained this theory, I made a warding spell, one that should seal whatever's inside permanently. It's difficult to cast, however. I need someone to watch my back. I wasn't sure about this last part. I needed the rubbings to know. Besides, if I said I needed you to maybe help me cast a spell to seal up a dead dragon, you'd think that was ridiculous. Everyone else does, especially my mentors. Sure? No. But what if I'm right? I know it's all untested theory, but if the alternative is a dragon waking up, then I think I should try. I've seen all the reports of the slaughter in Elsewhere. It sounds horrible. It certainly happened in Elsewhere, didn't it? Everyone thought dragons were gone for good, and now the giant lizards are burning villages. Is that what happens if I do nothing? The reports aren't clear about where they came from, just rumors. Some say they were entombed until something woke them up, but Elsewhere doesn't have dragon mounds like we do here. But I think until we know more, why risk an attack? Well, I've made it this far with no catastrophes. That has to count for something, right? Is the area safe? I'm so nervous. Oh, right, of course. You're the one who knows what to do. I brought my dagger in case there are giant bugs or something. I've never stabbed a giant bug before. Is it as icky as it sounds? Wonderful. So those tales about being dragged into caves and devoured by frostbite spiders are just stories to make children behave? Don't answer or you'll scare me out of doing this. Lead on to the mound. I'm not sensing any strange energies. I don't know if that's good or bad. Are you ready to head inside? We need to go to the center of the mound. That's the best place for my spell. Here we go. Don't worry, everything's fine. I'm not panicking. There. Oh, it worked. At least I think it worked. No rumblings, no explosions, so that's promising. But that spell took a lot out of me. Could you help me out of here? Maybe as far as the road? Let's hurry. I don't want to linger here. Here we are, entirely uneaten. Thank you for your help. I had no idea fieldwork was so invigorating. I can't wait to tell my peers at the Antiquarian Circle all about it. Oh? Really? I'm very new, our latest member. I only joined recently. Anyway, this is wonderful. Imagine the coincidence of my asking you, a fellow member, for help out here. Well, not exactly. Gabrielle made her skepticism quite clear. Is she always that blunt? She told me I could gather information as long as I didn't get directly involved. But I wanted to prove myself to the Circle. I hope I'm not in trouble. No! I mean, I don't think so. I took the initiative to deal with something that could be a big threat. That counts for something, right? I have to explain my findings to Gabrielle, and I promise to pay you, so meet me at the Circle.
People here have strange beliefs. Like dropping an egg on...
Tyrants stand and die in freedom's name.
Wolf attacks? Ghosts? Breachman raids? I'm getting out of this town.
Assassins tried to kill the High King. They murdered Queen Gerhild.
Our poor king must be devastated. The princess, too. What a sad day.
Ah, you're here. Don't worry, I have your pay. I'm just finishing my notes. Though, if I'm being honest, I'm not as confident as I once was that my theory is correct. How can I really know that my spell worked? Not really. My whole theory depends on the idea that a dragon buried in that mound could conceivably rise from the dead. We know necromancers can raise human skeletons, so why not dragons? That's what my ward is supposed to stop. No. I researched thoroughly to make it unbreakable, but I just don't know if it worked. I expected some kind of reaction, but there was nothing. I don't know. What do you think? How should I present my findings to the Circle? You're right. I may not like it, but it's true. I'm sure I cast a good ward, but there are just too many unknowns. I don't want to seem overconfident or brash. I'll tell Gabrielle everything I learned, but I'll let her decide what to make of it. Now, I need to get up the nerve to report my findings. Part of that includes telling Gabrielle that I went against her wishes. Hopefully she'll go easy on me. Thank you for listening, and for all your help. Oh wait, we're not done yet! I promised you compensation for your help, and I'm a Breton of my word. I thank you for all your advice about the Antiquarian Circle. Who knows? Maybe we'll have another adventure together. I think I'll wait a bit. Gabrielle might assume I'm just an overeager newcomer if I present to her without preparing. I want to organize my research so she can look it all over. I want her to see that I didn't make wild assumptions. Hopefully, she'll see that my theory has merit. It may not have all the facts she wants, but that just means it needs more investigating. She might even agree to let me continue my research in the field, this time with experienced help.
Welcome to the Circle, Karam. I'm the organization's resident eccentric. So if you're fond of bizarre yet completely plausible historical theory, I'm your elf. If by unusual you mean remarkable, I agree. Quite the feat of engineering, eh? I made it myself. Well, I designed it myself, at any rate. You know what I mean. No, practically everyone does. I was born with a twisted spine. It makes walking, well, impossible, to be perfectly honest. The chair grants me a degree of mobility I wouldn't have otherwise. Made childhood in Somerset a real treat, let me tell you. Want to see a high elf's face light up? Put them in the room with someone they perceive as fundamentally flawed. It's gross, but also hilarious. We're so insecure, you know? What? Mara's mercy, no. There's only so much you can learn there. The Sapiarchs, that whole business with the Thalmor and the Dominion. Too many tight collars and small minds. No one takes risks there. It's just the same tired stories over and over. Yes, indeed. And I've never had cause to regret it, except when Verita rarely gets going with her chores list. Believe me, you've never seen someone more uptight about loosely folded laundry. Well, that's how this lot sees me. I always think it's best to get out in front of the story, you know? I focus on historical mysteries, bizarre and arcane phenomena. You know, the interesting stuff. Ha! How much time do you have? The disappearance of the Dwemer, the secrets of the Hist, the mysteries of the Zero Stone. Tamarellic history is positively bursting with unexplained oddities. As a complete waste of time and resources. Verita would rather while away the days gluing broken Alessian pottery back together. And Ugron? I've never seen him show an interest in anything that hasn't been embalmed. Oh, plenty! Like, I've got a Cyrodiilic bird person skull buried around here somewhere. At least I think it's a Cyrodiilic bird person skull. Reginus swears it's a terror bird. See what I mean? Narrow-minded ninnies, the lot of them. Ugron, mostly. He hates getting stuck between Verita and Reginus without backup. Skyrim boasts its fair share of mysteries too. I've been developing a theory about the snow elves that's sure to wow our colleagues abroad. Oh, yes. I don't want to get into the specifics just yet, but it involves dragons, dwarves, Magnus the Divine, and a band of plucky Atmoran Skalds, and also a six-legged mammoth. I know that last bit sounds odd, but trust me, it's essential. No. Your days of taking people's words for things are behind you, my friend. I've got a good feeling about you. You'll be unlocking all manner of ancient secrets before long. Just promise to share the weirder bits with me, all right?
Word of warning. Don't wander around the outskirts of Morthal if you can avoid it. Something evil stalks the hills. Make no mistake. That's what they're saying down at the tavern. Ghosts appearing from snowstorms. Undead attacks on the road. Just as I left, a group of farmers came into town shouting about skeleton wolves. These woods are cursed. Headed towards the middle of town seeking help, last I saw. Lady Ninetha usually assists the wounded after animal attacks. But she can't handle something unnatural like this on her own. If you're willing, maybe you could offer some help? I'm sure she'd appreciate your assistance. As for me, I'm getting as far from here as possible until this blows over. Hopefully this blows over soon so I can come back. I prefer Morthal when it's quiet. She is Jarl Redhand's wife, but that doesn't really describe everything she does for Morthal. She watches over people here, sorts out disputes, makes sure people get help when injured, that sort of thing. Hopefully she figures this all out.
Wolves of ice and bone attacked Brune, my lady, and he saw ghosts.
Ghosts? Nonsense. Get him to the inn and I'll do what I can.
Come on, let's warm you up.
The rubes and oafs that reside in this town see spooks under every fish barrel. Normal animal attacks become works of supreme evil in their minds. My husband and I have too much on our plate to spend time investigating every wolf bite. I couldn't get much out of Brune, but it seems wolves attacked Havel's farm over to the west. He claims the beasts were only bones and covered in ice. I'm not inclined to believe him. People here tend to view the truth through their mead. Wolf packs do roam around the outskirts of town. Occasionally they snatch away a chicken or a goat. But attacking groups of people is unusual. Tell you what, could you go to the farm and get the truth? There would be coin in it for you. Excellent. The people of Morthal are basically good. They just let their imaginations run wild. Learning the truth of this attack could help curb any future issues with the wolves. I'll check on Brune at the tavern. His shivering concerns me. Oh, one can't live in this world without encountering a stray specter. Seeing chains drop from the sky changes what we accept as normal. And magic impacts all our lives, of course. Let's say I'm skeptical. The people of Morthal spend their days fishing, cutting logs, and drinking. They don't leave town, and outsiders don't visit. Spreading wild tales is what passes for entertainment here. Last week, Bandor accused Invisible Reeker of stealing his beard comb. The mill ceased operation completely while the town searched for holes in the ground where they might be hiding. We found it in the stables where he'd been grooming the horses. Indeed. I am proud to call him my husband. Without his strength, this town would certainly fall apart. When I arrived in Morthal for our wedding, I believed my life was over. But Red Harden made us a fine home here, for which I am grateful. Gods, no. I hoped my diction would show that. Perhaps I've lived here long enough to adopt their backwards speech. I came from Solitude originally. My father was a wealthy merchant who needed access to Morthal's lumber. Thus, my wedding.
zombies get you.
Getting old is no picnic, but the alternative is a lot worse. Where's that half-witted orker? He's trying to skeeve out of the deal. Hey, what's a little extortion, my friends? Where's that half-witted orker? He's trying to skeeve out of the deal.
Are you mad? Don't step foot anywhere near that farm. Those bone wolves will rip you apart limb from limb. They turned everyone there into zombies. By Moloch's nethers, what else would you call them? Felt like just a normal day of working the field. Then a freak storm blows in. Heard whispers on the wind, and saw a woman's... Anyone brought down by wolves turned. Their skin shriveled and froze before my eyes. Then they attacked me. People I've known for years. Havel, the guy who owns the farm, holed up in the house. Could you check on him? I'm worried for his safety. Still think you're mad, but I appreciate that you're willing to check on Havel. He's a grumpy old coot, but he doesn't deserve whatever this is. You'll need a key to the house. One of the farmhands should have one, if you can take it from them. When those bone wolves came out of the storm, we scattered. Some people tried to defend themselves with rakes, but we're farmers, not warriors. Other than myself and maybe Havel, I don't know who else is still alive. Brune's still alive? One of those tusking wolves latched onto his leg, but that didn't slow him down. He fended it off with a hammer and kept running. If he can make it to town, maybe I can as well. Thanks for letting me know. They started off faint, like a low murmur. As the storm grew, we could make out words and laughter, like from a child. Then we saw this spirit in the storm. A young woman running toward us through the field. I've never been so scared. The spirit faded before reaching us. I thought perhaps the storm had played tricks on my eyes. But the shocked look on Havel's face, it seemed like he recognized her. Before I could ask him, the wolves attacked. Who is that? If you came to eat me, you better turn right around. What are you doing in my house? First, all my workers rot away into monsters because of frozen skeleton wolves. And now strangers are traipsing about my home? You saw those creatures in the field? If I leave, they'll make me like them. I have all I need in here to hold out until they are gone. Besides, I'm not ready to see who's waiting for me out there again. I saw the spirit of someone we thought disappeared years ago. The Jarl and Lady's daughter, Freywin. They never talk about it. Too painful, I suppose. I guess she died if that's her ghost who brought these cursed wolves on us. No clue why she'd bring this upon us. Freywin always loved visiting the farm. Actually, there's someone who might know about Freywin's fate. A clever woman who speaks with spirits named Old Mjolnir. Perhaps you could ask her to help fix all this. Her hut lies to the northeast. She is a strange one for sure. Always stealing my chickens for her unnatural magics. But she's the only one who understands the ways of ghosts. In the meantime, I'm going to stay right here until this all blows over. Oh, yes. Even as a little girl, she'd wander out here on her own. Always giggled while chasing the chickens around the field. Eventually, Lady Ninetha would arrive to bring her home, apologizing for the disruption. But I never minded. It was nice. Well, I heard things. Morthal is a small town, and people talk. Stuff about evil wizards kidnapping her. But I keep to myself and focus on the farm. No time for storybook tales. That old witch makes my skin crawl. Using chicken bones and blood for magic is unnatural. Anyone who works with Shore's power should be watched closely. But they say she talks to spirits. Might be helpful when convincing Fraven's ghost to leave. Of course, my dear. Go ahead and grab some seats.
Another traveler approaches. Come, warm yourself. Ah, so you come to me again. Were our dealings with your pale friend not enough? Well, get close to the fire. Warm up. Pose your question. Wondered when they would send someone. Zone outsider surprises me. Yes, I know of the fleshless fools. But a ghost of young Freywin? Disturbing. I may have answers for this haunting, but I'll need cursed specimens to study. You will get them. Blood and tissue. Tear some decayed skin off an affected person and scrape dried blood from a cursed wolf. Bring me these things so I can understand what kind of magic we're dealing with. Good. Go on. Return here when you have the samples. A simple ritual will provide the details we seek. In the meantime, I'll consult my notes about Freywin's disappearance. Because I'm smarter than most Nords? I jest. People from the North fear magic. Don't understand it? Must be dangerous. They believe my power comes from that trickster Shore. If he was so clever, then I must be too. At least as Nords see it. Out of sight, out of mind. The fools believe they can ward off magic's consequences by pushing it away. And yet I'm the first person they visit when someone gets sick, or they think they see Daedra. I did. She was beloved by the whole town, even those of us pushed to the edges. Her disappearance hit hard, and the circumstances... well... No, I will not tell you what is not yours to know. At least until I can see what causes these attacks. Come back with the samples and you may learn more. Now, where did I put those rune stones? What sloppy magic. Untrained. The scent of death enters my nose. Your time with the cursed creatures has marked you. Let's hope not permanently. While you hunted, my studies proved fruitful. You have the blood and skin I require. They will complete my understanding. Yes, these will do nicely. Fresh, intact, thrumming with magic. This shall make the ritual easy. They have an icy burn to the touch. Hope they weren't too much trouble. Perhaps those walking corpses willingly gave up their skin? Many things. Is this a spell or a curse? Where does it get its power? Magic holds unique patterns, like footprints in the snow. If it's known to me, perhaps you can track the source. But first, I must extract this knowledge. Good. I won't be but a moment. Just as I feared. Come, listen to a tale. The ritual bears out my fears. I recognize the curse corrupting life around Morthal. Years ago, a death mage named Maxton killed a group of town guards at Kienstag Ruins. The same magic she used then now animates these undead. All I know are whispers. They say Maxton kidnapped Freywin and forced her into the ruins. Naturally, the Jarl dispatched the guards to rescue his daughter. But just as they arrived, a tempest of ice arose that froze the soldiers where they stood. Vanished. Until now, it seems. Though the link between Freywin's ghost and this curse still remains unclear. To find a cure, I need Maxton's original spell. Go east to the ruins. Retrieve anything that could reveal the nature of her work. Good. Meet me in Morthal with what you find. I wish to examine the wounds made by these undead. And take this rune. It bears an enchantment that will ward you from the curse's worst effects. At least, temporarily. As I said, she was a conjurer of death. From what I have seen, her magical understanding is incomplete. This curse is wild and sloppy. She approaches power like a babe crawling into a giant's camp. A shame that Freywin became caught in it. I never spoke with her, but rumors still sometimes drift into my camp. Maxton was a mystery in Morthal. Appeared late one evening to rent a bed at the tavern. No one saw her in the day except to bring food. At night, she left to wander the woods. Oh, a forest night stroll is not so odd for a mage. It's the best time to collect mushrooms. And dug-up bones hold the most power in the moonlight. But Maxton sought something in the woods. Perhaps she found it among the ruins. This I don't know. Let us hope that whatever you find in the Kienstag ruins reveals what she wanted with the young woman. Interesting. Even as a child, Freywin wandered outside Morthal to visit her people. She would come to my hut without fear. I would prepare her rabbit stew as we discussed her life. She told me once that Hovel's farm brought her great joy. An excellent question. So many of the answers elude me for now. With any luck, you will know more once we meet again. A simple stone imbued with the warmth of life. After the events at Kienstag Ruins, I explored new paths of magic for counteracting necromancy. One such trial led to the rune you hold. It should protect you from the worst of the curse's effects. Do you doubt my ability? My practice of magic extends back to when I first heard Shore's whispers as a child. Have faith when I say the rune will protect you. And if it doesn't, well then, I'll visit your frozen statue. A shame, but no. We require something much more powerful to undo magic this strong. Energy directly connected to the curse's origins. The rabbit blood from which I drew the magicka to charge that rune will not suffice.
Sure about this, my love. What if something goes wrong? Absolutely. I've researched this ritual for years. I just need your help. ruins. Explain why you're following me. These ruins. Explain why you're following me. Who are you? And why do you pursue me? First at Havel's farm, and now you emerge unscathed from these accursed ruins. If Maxton sent you to bring me back to her, I won't go. Everyone should just stay away before I kill them as well. Still live. For now. The curse I carry will kill me soon enough. I only hope to die close to home. I didn't want to destroy any more lives, or watch memories from my life resurrected to taunt me. Its power grows as it feeds off my life energy. The curse ends once I am gone. I only wish I could say goodbye to my parents. I know it is not my place to ask favors, but could you bring my mother a message? Tell her I'm sorry for everything. Thank you, stranger. Please bring her this locket so she knows the message is from me. Tell Mother not to worry. There's a place I love nearby where I can watch the good people of Morthal live their lives. I can be happy there in my final moments. This was not what she planned. Maxton believed she could improve her magical ability by communing with the powerful spirits that inhabit Gjenstag ruins. She asked my help with performing a summoning ritual, but it went horribly wrong. Maxton misjudged the ritual's difficulty. As she struggled, ice grew over the walls, and winds blew wildly. She almost gained control, but suddenly Thane Alstrom and his guards stormed the ruins. Maxton's focus slipped, and the ritual It shames me to admit, but yes, all those soldiers, my friends and neighbors, dead because of my actions. And now my return home killed even more people. Being near the end is a blessing. Oh yes, she was. I loved her dearly, and I truly believe Maxton loved me back. When she realized she'd accidentally cursed me, she swore to find a cure. But as time went on, growing her necromantic power became her only interest. Is that what they say? No. I willingly joined her ritual, which makes me just as guilty for all this death. Maybe I should have convinced her not to chase so much power. We might still be together then.
What do you want?
There's trouble in Hafengar. Something about a strange storm at Kilcreath Temple. Priests and pilgrims were wiped out.
Lucky Mog passed along your message. I would have hated to miss this.
Can you help him, witch? The curse rots his flesh. I've done what I can, but it won't last.
Doesn't seem like I'm getting much done here.
Well?
Good, you're back. Old Mjolnir told me of your discovery at the farm. She believes that Freywin's ghost somehow heralds this curse. I held out hope of her survival for years. Perhaps finally knowing her fate brings some relief despite it all. Still alive? I can't believe it. After all these years, Freywin finally comes home and you tell me she's dying? Why would she have you deliver this locket? I must see her. There is so much to say. Where is she? Take me to her. Is that by the water where the boats dock? Or perhaps her bedroom where she watched people from the window? The tree! Oh, Freywin, that old tree in the forest above Morthal. She would spend hours there. We must go now. But you survived? Oh, the clever woman protected you. Speak with old Mjolnir, please. She knows so much more about magic than anyone in Morthal. There must be something that can cure my daughter. Thank you. I need a moment to process everything you told me. And hold on to the locket. I refuse to take it while there's still hope to keep Freywin alive. So you found Freywin alive, did you? An unexpected but welcome turn of events. We may yet be able to save her. What did you bring me from the ruins? I must know more about the necromancer's plans. Let me see. Awful. The fantasies of a child. Playing with magic like this invites danger. The energies at the ruins surely overwhelmed her. But this shard... Tell me, did Freywin explain the visions of her ghost to you? Yes, this is what I needed to know. Maxton's ritual consumed the spirits in the ruins. She wished to gain power by absorbing their memories. Freywin's curse drains her life energy, then manifests it as her own memories. This is how we cure her. By flooding her with her own life force, we can burn out the curse. Give me her locket. Ah, yes. It hums with emotional power. Once attuned, you can absorb Freywin's memories into it. Fill it with her energy so we may rescue her from death. Good. Here is the locket. Ninetha mentioned 2 places Freywin enjoyed. The docks and her bedroom. You may find manifestations there. When you're done, meet me back here at the tavern. Then we'll proceed. Ah, well, you see, back in the... Actually, no. Perhaps that secret should fade into dust. These events show that those ruins best remain undisturbed. I'll be at this until I drop.
So much to do.
Why does the Princess of Solitude grace my humble hall with her royal presence? Are you here on behalf of the High King?
I've come to warn you, Jarl Red Hun.
Warn me? I already
What is
received
it?
orders from your father. What more is there to say?
Orders? Right. But you need to prepare the whole
This
defense.
locket.
And what
Wasn't
must
it
we defend
yours?
ourselves against this time? More urns and fetishes?
Yes,
Please,
darling.
Jarl Red
And
Hun.
now it's yours.
Let my friend explain.
Keep it close to
The
your
threat to our
heart.
holds is worse than you can imagine.
We'll have a good time on the water.
Ah, yes. I loved exploring. I can't wait to do it again.
Quickly, to me. Our time is short. Your return may be too late. Lady Ninetha ran off to meet Freywin at the trees she described. She wanted to be with her before the end. If we don't act quickly, she will die. Were you successful in obtaining the memories? Then we can put an end to this tragedy. But we must act now. Go! Join them at the large tree overlooking Morthal to the east. I will meet you after I prepare. Bring it with you. As my ritual to cure Freywin culminates, you must hold the locket before you. Her life energy will rush into her, and the curse should break. I warn you, this may be painful for her, but it is necessary. When you arrive, wait for me. Do not let them do anything rash. I will not be long. Do this, and Morthal will be rid of this curse forever. Now hurry!
Mother, you can't be here. It will kill you.
Freywin, I thought you died. I can't leave you, even if it kills me.
It's already killing you. Please, get away from me. Mother, no!
Ninetha? Oh no, we must act quickly. Use the necklace on my command.
Ah! It burns! Mother!
Hurry! Use the necklace. Release the energy within.
What's happening?
You did it. I can't believe it. You brought my Freywin back to me. Thank you. I have so many questions for her. And the Jarl, he still doesn't even know. I think so. I could feel my skin freeze over. For a brief moment, I thought the end was upon me. All I wanted was for Freywin to know she wasn't alone. I don't know, truly. Freywin's return will raise many questions in Mordor. The Jarl and I must discuss what to say, if we say anything at all about what happened here. I promised you payment at the beginning of this. Here, I am deeply grateful. Freywin, are you all right?
Am I? Mother, I thought I'd killed you.
I would never leave you. It's over now.
Rest. Then we shall return to town. You two have much to discuss.
Похоже, на этом все. Можно поговорить. Было бы узнать, что скажет. Я думаю, продолжу потом. В общем, ладно, типа нам сюда. Всё. На этом закончу. Всем спасибо за просмотр. До встречи.